Is it true? I am a big fan of Fantastic Four. You've heard the rumors that you and John, what do you mean? Don't make a face. That you and John are going to be Reed Richards and his wife Sue in the Fantastic Four movie, which I think would be a great idea.
No, that is fan casting. That no one has received a phone call. That is all. That's just people saying, "Wouldn't that be great?" And that's it. No one has received.
In a way, are you too good of an actress to really participate?
Say that.
Are you too good of an actress to really take that role seriously? In other words, maybe that's why you don't even react to this Black Widow thing, that you could have been the Black Widow in Iron Man, and that could have been your franchise, and blah, 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 blah. Because in a way, maybe the whole genre of superhero movies is beneath you.
It's not that it's beneath me. It's not that, because I love Iron Man. I wanted to work with Robert Downey Jr. It would have been amazing. Yes. But I don't know if superheroes are for me. They're not up my alley.
Seems you like don't like Garfield, the superheroes, or is it that a lot of women I speak to,
I think
we're not into comics?
It's been exhausted. I think it's just that we are inundated. It's not only all the movies, it's the endless TV shows as well. And it's not to say that I would never want to play one. It would just have to be something so cool and like a really cool character. And then I'd be interested. But in general, I don't race to see superhero movies. And maybe because I feel they leave me feeling a bit cold. I can't explain it. I can't get in there.
What's up, everybody? It's Warren, and I'm not sure I really buy this. I think we've moved past the point of kind of accepting when actors and actresses say they're not playing roles, we believe them. I don't think that happens anymore. I think we really have to wait until actual castings are announced. And besides, I'm pretty sure that Emily Blunt has spoken with Marvel and John Krasinski, her husband, as well. At least that's what's been reported, and that's what we're going to break down. Because there's some things here that I'm not really buying, and plus I know everybody is really excited at the possibility of Emily Blunt and her husband John Krasinski playing Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, and Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. Because I love both Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, but if I had to choose one, I would actually really prefer John Krasinski to play Mr. Fantastic. I think that's a pretty perfect casting. I think it would be great to see Emily as the Invisible Woman, but if I had to choose one, I would choose John. Before we dive into it, quick reminder, we're still giving away Stormbreaker at the end of this month. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Cosmic Culture, and the details are in the description down below. So this kind of seems to have people in a panic. People are stating now, okay, well, Emily Blunt and John Krasinski aren't going to be Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. But let me remind you of this.
Anchorman to Ant-Man?
That's all rumor, man. Sorry.
Nothing you can tell us?
It's nothing I know.
All right. From her Emmy-winning role on Orphan Black, so Marvel seemed like a perfect fit for her.
Yeah, well, Tatiana now says, not so fast, in an interview with the Sudbury Star yesterday. What's up, Sudbury? Tatiana said that actually isn't a real thing, and it's like a press release that's gotten out of hand. It's totally not. I've been connected to these things in the past, and press has gotten onto it, but it's not actually a thing, unfortunately.
Now, obviously, Paul Rudd is Ant-Man, and during Disney's Investor Day, they announced that Tatiana Maslany is Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. So, we don't need to start panicking yet. They cannot say, yes, I'm going to be in the Fantastic Four. Yes, I'm going to be the Invisible Woman. My husband, John Krasinski, is going to be Mr. Fantastic. There's just no scenario where they can say that. At least not until it's announced by Marvel Studios. Now, it doesn't mean that they are in fact going to be playing Sue Storm and Reed Richards, but it seems like there is a little bit of evidence that leads us to believe that they are at least being considered by Disney and Marvel for those roles. So first of all, let's start with Emily Blunt. Not too long ago, when she was filming Jungle Cruise with The Rock, which is a Disney film, there were reports coming out that she met with Marvel and Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios. Now again, this is during Jungle Cruise, so it was filmed at a Disney studio. Disney owns Marvel. They use the same studios. It really wouldn't be hard for Emily Blunt to meet with Kevin Feige. In fact, it would be very, very easy. Kevin Feige could simply just walk on the set. They could have had a meeting in her trailer. They could have had a meeting at any of the executive suites in the studios. Kevin Feige's office isn't far from the studios. They could have easily done that as well. So I'm not sure if I'm buying the fact that she stated that she hasn't really met with anybody at Marvel yet. And she says no one has received a phone call, but she very well could have just simply met with Kevin Feige, ran into him on the set at some point in time. But I mean, obviously she's going to just deny things. She can't announce if she's Sue Storm. She just can't. Now, at the same time, when John Krasinski started his YouTube channel during the pandemic before he sold it, he was getting a lot of attention, not that he doesn't normally, but he was getting a lot more. He was doing a pretty cool thing with his YouTube channel, SGN Some Good News, and at this time where everything was taking place via Zoom, it was reported that he actually had a Zoom conference call with Marvel. Now, there were a few reports that stated that it could be about directing. John Krasinski likes to direct films now. He's done a really great job at some films. So that is a possibility, but if they contacted both him and his wife, Emily Blunt, it seems like Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman would be a perfect conversation to have since they're married and the two characters are married. It would be a great dynamic to see on screen. Now, at the close of this video, Emily Blunt did say that she wouldn't be against playing it. She said that it would have to be something so cool and just a really cool character for her to get excited about it. Well, Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, are two of the most interesting characters in the Marvel Universe. Reed Richards is counted as the most intelligent man in the Marvel Universe, smarter than Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, Shuri. He's the top dog, and Sue Storm is incredibly powerful. And not to mention their son, Franklin Richards, goes on to become one of the most powerful characters, maybe the most powerful character in Marvel history. He literally uses Galactus as a puppet to do his own work. An insanely strong character, and if they incorporate him, their son, into that story in the Fantastic Four, maybe it could be interesting enough for her and her husband to get on board. And you also have to keep in mind that Kevin Feige has already stated that he meets with a bunch of different actors and actresses about multiple movies. Some of you may have heard me say this before, but Kevin Feige met with Jake Gyllenhaal about 10 times to talk about 10 different movies before they landed on the role of Mysterio for him. The same is with Keanu Reeves. Kevin Feige has admitted that he has talked to Keanu Reeves about Marvel characters. They just have not found that perfect role for him. This is what Kevin Feige does. He talks to a lot of different actors about a lot of different roles to find the perfect people for the perfect parts. And Marvel is kind of moving on now to use a lot of mainstream actors. Just look at the Eternals cast: Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Kumail Nanjiani, Kit Harington, Richard Madden. Really, the whole cast is just stacked. And if you're going to bring in two of the biggest names in the Marvel Universe, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, you're probably going to want some pretty big actors to play the roles. But then again, maybe she is telling the truth. They do have 2 kids, and she has stated before that it would be really hard to commit to something for a very long time because of her kids. And she did state in another interview that it would be pretty hard to go and shoot a film because of her kids. However, if Emily doesn't want to play the role of Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, we shouldn't rule out John Krasinski to play Mr. Fantastic. He may want to play that role really badly. And like I said, it's been reported that he's met with Marvel Studios. So you never know. Now, the Fantastic Four cast has probably already been chosen. In Marvel's recent teaser of all of the films that they have coming up when they announced the release dates and titles for some, the Fantastic Four was the last project mentioned with no release date, but it was mentioned nonetheless. Kevin Feige also announced the Fantastic Four at Disney's Investor Day, and he confirmed that they were working on it already. So, the cast has probably already been chosen, and if they haven't, they definitely have a pretty good idea of who they want to play the roles. And I'm betting, even if it doesn't happen, I'm betting John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are probably number 1, if not top 3 for choices of who to play Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. But let me know what you think. What do you think about Emily Blunt's interview with Howard Stern? Do you think this is a classic Paul Rudd denying, Jeremy Renner denying, Tatiana Maslany denying, one of those cases, or do you think she's being genuine? And if it's not John Krasinski and Emily Blunt playing Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, who would you rather have play them? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the latest MCU news. Don't forget to like this video, and for live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.